Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for staying with KTV2. I'm Ahmed Al-Wasmi, and I'd love to welcome you to our special live coverage of KTV2 of the 45th Gulf Cooperation Council GCC Summit hosted by the State of Kuwait. Today, we're witnessing a momentous occasion as leaders from across the Gulf came together to discuss critical regional and global issues, strengthening partnerships, working towards a united vision for the future. As we bring you exclusive coverage of this prestigious summit, we will also share key highlights discussing, and we will be joined with various guests. It is a historic moment for the State of Kuwait to host the summit, and we are honored to be one and every step of the way. We now turn our attention to the official opening of the summit, where His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mashal Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him, delivered his speech, marking the beginning of the important gathering. So stick around, I will come back with a very distinguished guest.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعلى بركة الله أعلن افتتاح الدورة 45 لمجلس الأعلى لمجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أخواني أصحاب السمو، قادة دولة مجلس التعاون، أصحاب السمو والمعالي والسعادة، الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يطيب لي في مستهل أعمال الدورة 45 للمجلس الأعلى لمجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية أن أرحب بكم إخوة أعزاء في دولة الكويت، كما يسرني أن أتقدم بجزيل الشكر إلى أخي العزيز صاحب السمو الشيخ تميم بن حمد بن خليفة آل ثاني أمير دولة قطر الشقيقة على إدارته الحكيمة وجهوده المبذولة طيلة ترأس سموه لأعمال الدورة 7. إخواني أصحاب السمو، يجسد جمعنا المبارك الذي تستضيفه دولة الكويت تجسيداً مشرفاً لوحدة الصف، ومثالاً مشرقاً لقوة الاتحاد والتلاحم والتكامل، وانعكاساً دقيقاً لإيماننا الراسخ بضرورة تعزيز وتوحيد العمل الخليجي المشترك من أجل مواكبة التحديات الناجمة عن تسارع الأحداث الإقليمية والدولية وانعكاساتها، والارتقاء بمجالات التعاون نحو آفاق أوسع تلبي تطلعات شعوبنا وطموحاتها وتحقق هدفنا المنشود، ألا وهو ضمان ازدهار دولنا في محيط يعمه الأمن والأمان والاستقرار. ونجتمع اليوم في ظل ظروف بالغة التعقيد باتت تلقى بظلالها على الاقتصاد العالمي، مهددة تنمية شعوبنا ورخاؤها، الأمر الذي يتطلب منا تسريع وتيرة عملنا الهادف إلى تحقيق التكامل الاقتصادي الخليجي. من خلال توحيد السياسات وتنويع مصادر الدخل غير التقليدية، وتسهيل حركة التجارة والاستثمار، ودعم الصناعات المحلية، وتوسيع قواعد الابتكار وريادة الأعمال، خاصة في المجالات المستحدثة مثل مجالات الذكاء الاصطناعي، وذلك لتعزيز تنافسية اقتصاد بلداننا على الساحتين الإقليمية والدولية. وتنطلق مسيرة عملنا نحو خلق اقتصاد خليجي متكامل مرن قادر على تلبية تطلعات شبابنا من منطلقات أساسية أهمها التعليم وصقل مواهبهم وشد هممهم نحو المساهمة في تحقيق الاقتصاد الخليجي المتكامل الذي ننشده، وبلوغ طموحاتنا باستدامة نماء ورخاء شعوبنا من خلال ضمان جودة عناصرها البشرية وتنويع مصادر دخل دولنا الشقيقة. إخواني أصحاب السمو، أثبت مجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية منذ انطلاقه في عاصمة دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة الشقيقة أبو ظبي عام 1981 بفكرة من أخي المغفور له بإذن الله تعالى الشيخ جابر الأحمد الجابر الصباح طيب الله ثراه، أن دولنا قادرة من خلال تكاتفها وتلاحمها على تحقيق رخاء شعوبنا وصون استقرارها وتحقيق أمنها. فها هو مجلسنا اليوم وبعد مضي أكثر من 4 عقود من الزمن لا يزال شامخا في وحدته، ثابتا في مواقفه، صلبا في إرادته، صامدا في سعيه لإرساء دعائم الأمن والسلم الدوليين عبر دفاعه عن كافة القضايا العادلة أينما كانت. ومن هذا المنطلق نجدد إدانتنا للاحتلال الإسرائيلي الغاشم على أرض فلسطين المحتلة وللإبادة الجماعية المتعاقبة بحق الشعب الفلسطيني الشقيق، وندعو المجتمع الدولي ومجلس الأمن على وجه الخصوص بممارسة دوره من خلال ضمان تنفيذ كافة قرارات مجلس الأمن ذات الصلة، والوقوف الفوري لإطلاق النار وتوفير الحماية الدولية للمدنيين الأبرياء، وضمان فتح الممرات الآمنة ووصول المساعدات الإنسانية العاجلة. ونؤكد ثبات موقفنا المبدئي التاريخي المساند للشعب الفلسطيني الشقيق في نضاله المشروع لإنهاء الاحتلال الإسرائيلي على أرض فلسطين المحتلة ونيل حقوقه السياسية كافة، وإقامة دولته المستقلة على أرضه في حدود 4 يونيو للعام 1967 وعاصمتها القدس الشرقية وفقاً للمرجعيات والقرارات الدولية ذات الصلة. إخواني أصحاب السمو، نتج عن ازدواجية المعايير في تطبيق القوانين والمواثيق والقرارات الدولية ذات الصلة استهراء الاحتلال الإسرائيلي وزعزعة أمن المنطقة واستقرارها. فها نحن نشهد ما تتعرض له كل من الجمهورية اللبنانية الشقيقة والجمهورية العربية السورية الشقيقة والجمهورية الإسلامية الإيرانية الصديقة من اعتداءات متكررة من قبل قوات الاحتلال الإسرائيلي. ونجدد دعمنا التام لكافة إسهامات دول المجلس لاستقرار المنطقة، ومنها قيادة المملكة العربية السعودية الشقيقة للجهود الرامية إلى الاعتراف بدولة فلسطين في إطار التحالف الدولي لتنفيذ حل الدولتين، وبالإضافة إلى استضافتها لقمة المتابعة العربية الإسلامية المشتركة، ودور الوساطة الذي تقوم به دولة قطر الشقيقة وجمهورية مصر العربية الشقيقة والولايات المتحدة الأمريكية الصديقة لوقف إطلاق النار في قطاع غزة، مستبشرين خيراً بوقف إطلاق النار على الأراضي اللبنانية، مما يساهم في تخفيض التصعيد في المنطقة. إخواني أصحاب السمو، نشيد بالبوادر الإيجابية البناءة التي عبرت عنها الجمهورية الإسلامية الإيرانية الصديقة نحو مجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية، ونتطلع إلى أن تنعكس على الملفات العالقة بين الجمهورية الإسلامية الإيرانية الصديقة ودول المجلس كافة، والارتقاء بمجالات التعاون إلى آفاق أوسع في ظل ميثاق الأمم المتحدة ومواثيق القانون الدولي ومبادئ حسن الجوار واحترام الدول وعدم التدخل في شؤونها الداخلية، وإيمانا بمبدأ حسن الجوار، وإن الحوار ركيزة محورية لتجاوز العقبات والتحديات. نجدد دعوتنا للأشقاء في جمهورية العراق بتصحيح الوضع القانوني لاتفاقية تنظيم الملاحة البحرية في خور عبد الله، واستئناف اجتماعات الفرق الفنية التابعة لها، والعودة إلى العمل وفقا لما نص عليه بروتوكول المبادلة الأمني لعام 2008، واستئناف اجتماعات الفرق الفنية القانونية المشتركة لاستكمال ترسيم الحدود البحرية لما بعد العلامة رقم 162، وذلك وفقا لقواعد القانون الدولي واتفاقية الأمم المتحدة لقانون البحار لعام 1982. ولا يفوتني كذلك التأكيد على تطلعنا إلى دعم إخواننا أصحاب الجلالة والسمو لضمان استمرارية متابعة مجلس الأمن دون غيره من أجهزة الأمم المتحدة لملفي الأسرى والمفقودين والممتلكات الكويتية بما فيها الأرشيف الوطني، وذلك بعد انتهاء ولاية بعثة الأمم المتحدة لمساعدة العراق يونامي. وختاما نعيد التأكيد على التزامنا باستكمال مسيرة العمل الخليجي المشترك نحو كل ما من شأنه تلبية طموحات شعوبنا وتحقيق تطلعاتها إلى مستقبل مشرق تنعم فيه بالرفعة والنماء والرخاء. وأسأل الله العلي القدير أن يوفقنا جميعا لما فيه الخير والصلاح، وأن يديم على دولنا وشعوبنا نعم الأمن والأمان والاستقرار والازدهار. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The 45th Summit of the Supreme Council of Their Majesties and Highnesses leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council states. Key political, economic, and security topics listed on the summit's agenda, and a unified Gulf people awaiting its outcome.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and it is time to meet our distinguished guest. He's not a guest, he is the father of everybody here in our studio, my father too, Dr. Aid Al-Manna. He's a political analyst, and he is well-known, and he has a way long trip in political and also in economics and whatever your heart desires. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you very much, my
Always
son,
a pleasure, honestly.
for inviting me to be with you.
I'm honored to be with you, and it's my pleasure to sit around and talk to you. And exactly, we need your opinion regarding the significance of Kuwait hosting the 45th GCC summit. What exactly it means to the state of Kuwait and the GCC countries?
Well, actually, the significance of this summit, it has been held in Kuwait. From Kuwait started the idea of establishing this kind of cooperation council. Sheikh Jabir Al-Ahmed Al-Jabir Al-Sabah in 1976 was thinking of how to bring these Gulf states together and to have for them an umbrella for the GCC. At that time, it hasn't this name. He actually visited, at that time he was the Crown Prince and the Prime Minister. He visited the Gulf states and he consulted with the leaders there about how we can fill the vacuum of the British withdrawal from the east of Suez Canal. At that time, in the 70s, early 70s. He also go back and he met Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the United Arab Emirates. And I think Sheikh Zayed liked the idea and encouraged Sheikh Jabir to go ahead with it. Kuwait has its relation with all, its warm relation, and Kuwait also at that time was maybe the head of the Gulf because it is independence before other Gulf states with the exception of Saudi Arabia. He also went to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He discussed that.
And they welcomed the idea.
Yeah, with at that time Crown Prince King Fahd ibn Abdul Aziz and King Khalid ibn Abdul Aziz, and they welcomed the idea. And
the whole thing took place in 1981?
All the Gulf praised the idea and encouraged Kuwait to go ahead with it. Sheikh Zayed adopted the idea and he called for a meeting in Abu Dhabi, and you know that's in 25th of May 1981, the declaration of the first day of its birth, the Gulf GCC started at that time. Also, we remember, this is the idea why it is significance. Also, actually, the first exam, very hard exam for the GCC was the occupation of Kuwait by the Iraqi government at that time in the 2nd of August 1990. and all the Gulf states stood together supporting Kuwait and showing their solidarity, whether in military, in social life, and they participated to liberate Kuwait with their own armed forces. Also politically, they expressed their influence with other countries to bring support to Kuwait. And that's probably the another significance for this. Definitely also that being head by His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mish'al Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, I think it is significant for the
leadership.
For the GCC meeting in Kuwait. It is the first time that His Highness, as Emir, when he was Crown Prince, this is another case. But now he is the head of the state, he is the Emir of the state of Kuwait, and invited his brothers to meet for this summit and discuss all the internal and external issues and the problems and how to deal with it, especially what actually concerning the Gulf state. For instance, we always talking about what happened, what we achieved. Definitely discussed the cyber security. You know, now we are in the age of technology, and we have to be careful how to deal with this technology. There are positive and negative of this technology, especially within the internal security of our nations, especially all the Gulf. The second point is the electrical
grid
interaction, grid.
The grid altogether.
Connection.
The cooperation
Yes,
between
yes.
the GCC
The
countries
GCC
when it comes
within
to electricity.
Electric grid. Also the railway interconnection within the Gulf.
The whole six
started between country to country. For instance, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, there is a railway. The another one is from Kuwait through all the Gulf states until the Sultanate of Oman.
Doctor, do you mind if we stop on this point in particular, because this is very vital for everybody, and not for the governments, for the people, because it facilitates and makes it easy access to go to Jeddah.
Yes.
You don't have to go through airports or do anything at all. You can go all the way, just like you mentioned, all the way to the bottom of the Gulf. You go to Oman.
Yeah, that's right.
And it takes less time and energy and effort. Would you elaborate on that?
Yes, this is actually facilitate how the societies among these Gulf states connect with each other, visit each other easily.
Yes.
And that's not only for the individual or just for tourism, it is also for the businessmen going through, and for the merchants exchanging goods.
And families.
Families.
Yes.
All of this. It is just make it easy as you are moving from your own city to another city in your own country. This is actually one of the facilities has been made by our leaders to make our communication with each other easily.
Okay. They mentioned in the whole conclusion of the summit that they want to make sure to empower women in the Gulf, to give them more opportunities, and the youth to make them get the leadership earlier than later. What do you think of that?
Well, this is actually an international idea, actually. You know that women now in our countries participating in the development, they are teaching, they are working everywhere. There is no obstacles to prevent women from working. Years before, probably some of the countries have their restriction on women not to.
I mean, the old generation, they would like to
old
keep
generation,
it, you know, the old school.
Even within years, actually. For instance, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, women wasn't able to drive.
That's correct.
But in His Majesty King Salman ibn Abdulaziz and Crown Prince Mohammed ibn Salman, the woman actually given the right equal to the man to drive, to work everywhere. No restriction has been imposed on the women. For the youth also, you know that this is our wealth, the youth, and we need to bring up this generation and make them very qualified especially in science, because we need that. Science, technology, other fields, it's okay, but these the most important for us, because this is the age of technology and science, and that's mean we have to depend on our people at this point. I think another point is very important, that we have to depend on our Gulf armed forces, because we have experienced what happened in 1990 when our country Kuwait has been stormed by the Republican Guards of Iraq at that time. We have also experienced what happened in Bahrain afterward, and all that time we've been actually feeling depressed. Kuwait, fortunately, the whole world stood with her, because it was right and has a good relation with all the nations. The world stood with Kuwait, including and in the first of all the Gulf states who come to shoulder Kuwait and participating in its liberation.
Doctor, you mentioned something about the armed forces, and you want to see it enhanced and get more power.
Yeah, that's right.
We already have one. We have the Gulf Shield,
the Gulf Shield, but
the Gulf Shield.
We need.
You don't think it's enough? We need to enhance it and make it more powerful.
We wanted more people
to join the forces.
Our young people to join. We want our people to defend our countries.
That's correct.
And this is the most important. We wanted to be very much qualified by arms, by training, to just not to wage war. We are not those who want to wage war at all. But if you have the power, the military power, the force,
you'll have the others respect, and they fear you.
The other will not think of invading you or weakening
or harass
your
you
will.
or anything at all.
Yes.
Dr. Al-Manar, this is only the beginning, and we are getting warming up. Now I want you to take a breather, drink a glass of water, because we have something else that's coming up for our dear audience with this one here. Stick around.
The state of Kuwait hosted the 45th GCC Sovereign Council Summit today. The GCC leader emphasized their commitment to strengthening regional security, economic integration, and political cooperation. Following the opening ceremony, the leaders entered closed-door sessions to address critical issues in the summit agenda. They also explored the ongoing geopolitical shifts and the need for Gulf nations to adopt a unified stance in dealing with global issues. The closed session concluded with the drafting of Kuwait Declaration, a comprehensive document outlining the GCC collective position on various matters. This declaration is expected to include a strong commitment to regional security, support for political stability in the Middle East. As the 45th GCC Summit unfolds, Kuwait's leadership is playing a crucial role in ensuring that GCC countries evolving as a united and one bloc in addressing the complex challenges facing the region. The outcomes of this summit are expected to have a lasting effect on the political, economic, and security landscape of the Gulf region.
Now we have the pleasure of phone call with our esteemed guest, Dr. Nasser Al-Hajri, political and economics analysis, who will be sharing their valuable insights on the 45th Gulf Cooperation Council GCC Summit. Through this conversation, we will deliver deeper into the key developments and perspectives shaping the region. I'd love to welcome Dr. Nasser, and we are eager to hear your thought and our questions. Good evening, sir, and thank you so much for staying with us on the line. Okay, sir, the first question, the GCC has made significant strides in economic integration over the past few decades. What are the key priorities for further enhancing economic cooperation among member states, and how can the summit contribute to achieving these goals?
First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with you. Regarding your question, yes, the Gulf Cooperation Council has indeed made a notable progress in economic integration, but there remain important opportunities to further enhance cooperation among its member states. Some key priorities for economic integration and how the GCC summit can contribute to achieving these goals are, in my opinion, promoting investment and trade growth, diversification of economics, where I think the GCC countries want to reduce their dependence on oil by growing sectors like technology, finance, and renewable energy. And the summit can focus on joint projects in green energy, digital economics, and the smart cities. Working together, they can build a more diverse and a sustainable economy. Other priorities is infrastructure development, where the GCC countries aim to invest in transport and digital infrastructure to improve their economic connections. Also, one of the priorities, in my opinion, is improving finance cooperation, where the GCC aims to improve financial cooperation by aligning banking systems and possibly introducing a common currency. Another option is investing in green solutions for sustainability, technology and innovation cooperation, regional security and political stability. The GCC focuses on ensuring political stability and security to boost economic cooperation and attract investment. The summit can help address security issues and align defense strategies for a stable and growing region.
Dr. Nasser, given the global shift towards renewable energy sources, how can the GCC countries balance their reliances on oil and gas with the need for sustainable energy solutions, and what are the role can the summit play in accelerating this transition and ensuring regional energy security?
Well, as the world shifts to renewable energy, GCC countries must balance their oil-dependent economies with sustainable energy solution. The summit can help accelerate this transition by promoting diversification and supporting global climate goals. My opinion is that diversification of energy sources will help by investing heavily in renewable energy like solar and wind, with goals such as Saudi Arabia Vision 2030 to generate 50% of energy from non-oil sources. The summit can help create a regional strategy for energy diversification, promoting renewable infrastructure and grid connections for a sustainable future. Also, I think there should be an investment in carbon capture and storage technologies, where the GCC countries can continue using oil and gas while investing in carbon capture and storage technologies to reduce the emissions. Also, energy efficiency programs. GCC countries can cut energy use by improving building insulation and making industries more efficient. Another point from my point of view, which can help on shifting towards renewable energy sources, is by building partnership for climate action worldwide. GCC countries have committed to reducing carbon emission under the Paris Agreement, but balancing this with their reliance on fossil fuel is challenging. Another point is to strengthen regional energy alliance. GCC countries can strengthen their global energy transition efforts by partnering with renewable energy leaders like Europe, US, and China. And the summit can advance international collaboration in renewable energy research and climate action. This would position the GCC as a key energy exporter and renewable energy hub.
Sir, attracting foreign direct investments, FDI, is crucial for economic growth and diversity. What are the measures can the GCC countries take to improve their investments climate and positioning themselves as attractive destination for investors, particularly in light of global economic uncertainties?
Attracting foreign direct investment is crucial for GCC countries' economic growth and diversification beyond oil and gas. Despite global uncertainties, the GCC can improve its investment climate through targeted measures to attract investors. These measures, like simplifying the business regulations, where this simplifying business regulations by reducing bureaucracy and making it easier to start and run the business. The summit can help harmonize rules across member states. Also, another point is enhancing investment benefits. GCC countries can attract foreign investment by offering tax breaks and financial incentives for key industries like technology and renewable energy. Also, we should be improving our finance options, providing foreign investors with access to loans, credits, and venture capital can help them to start and grow business in the GCC. Some other points like enhancing infrastructure and connectivity. Investors are drawn to countries with strong infrastructures like reliable transport, telecom networks, and energy access. The summit can promote joint investment in regional projects like transportation network and digital infrastructure, or developing smart cities and tech hubs. Some other points like building a skilled workforce or ensuring economic and political stability. Investors prefer stable political and economic environments, so maintaining macroeconomic stability is crucial. Also, promoting regional and global trade, where to attract FDI, the GCC needs to negotiate trade agreements that improve market access for investors. The summit can promote collective trade deals with major global markets and regional blocs. By reducing tariffs and simplifying market access, the GCC can become a more attractive destination for foreign investment.
Dr. Nasser Al-Hajri, thank you so much for these insightful information. Well, I know everybody's waiting for Dr. Aid Al-Manna. I believe you took your breather, drank your water, and you collected all your thoughts. And this is the second round. We can go on and on about the summit from now until the day we die. But I want from your own perspective exactly what it pointed out for you. Oh, this is the one that we are looking for. This is the one that we need to concentrate, the ideas that you have gathered from the summit.
Yeah. Actually, one of the most important issue has been discussed in all the summits is the diversification of the economy. And this is for us in the Gulf, it is very crucial.
You mean find alternative income to the states of Kuwait and the rest of the GCC countries?
All the GCC countries still depend highly on the oil revenues. And this is not actually permanent. This is one. The second, we need to also find jobs and other sources to be with the oil revenues helping our budgets, especially we now spending a lot of money on technology and manpower and so. And that's actually the diversification of economy is crucial. And I think we know that most of the countries now starting their own visions. For instance, in Kuwait, 2035.
Saudi Arabia, 2030.
Saudi, 2030. Probably Oman, 2040. All these.
They have their own visions in the future.
And they all trying to find other sources of income for their own people and the country. The second point, very important, I think in the declaration today of Kuwait is that countering terrorism, extremism, and sectarianism, very important points, has been mentioned directly, because you know there will be no development, no stability as long as there are kind of terrorist or extremist operating even indirectly or behind the scene. We have to be careful of how to deal with these kind of terrorists and extremists, and these who actually thinking not good thinking at all, sectarian, those who don't believe on the unity of the society and society. And that we have to be careful, and we have to bring up our new generation to be for their own country, national, respecting the freedom of others and the right of their citizen and those who are working in their own countries. This is actually, I think it's very important, has been mentioned in the declaration. Also, the declaration emphasized the importance of maintaining the unity
of the countries, the 6 countries.
The unity and the stability of the Gulf region. The Gulf region itself, and the protecting its interest against external and internal threats. You remember, Ahmed, we've been talking about finding our forces to be
strengthening
ready,
the shield of the Gulf.
To be ready to defend us. And that being ready, this is actually a primitive, prevent the others to think of attacking or
harassing us.
Harassing. This is very important for us. And now this is the declaration made it clear for this point, to protect our interest against external and internal threats. Internal, those who actually terrorists or some
mean like
these,
sleeping cells or something like that?
Cells, who are who are waiting the
proper opportunity to attack
opportunity to attack or take actions against the country and its people. We remember so many of these happened during the 90s, either in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, and other countries who've been operating to overcome and throw the governments and had been fortunately defeated very badly.
What do you mean is we have to enhance and make it more powerful to exchange the intelligence and the information with each other in order to prevent any threat inside or outside our states, something like that.
That's right. Our the stability and development is actually, it is our issue, and we have to make it available for our people. There must be cooperation between the ministries of internal and discuss all the points, exchange information about any group or individuals who might be causing or posing a threat to either our country or other country who are in the Gulf Cooperation Council. It is our security altogether, collective security for the GCC.
You should be with them and tell them all exactly what we need to hear. Take a break, Mr. Al-Ayad, because we have something else, but guess what? I'm going to keep talking to you because our colleague is going to prepare himself to tell us exactly from the center of the information, but let's continue with you. You mentioned something about the renewable energy.
Yeah.
And we need not to depend on the oil all the time. We need to find different resources, different places to gain more revenue for our children and children of the children's. What exactly do you propose?
I propose we actually concentrate on how to build industries, how to find a new way of creating goods for our people, how we can activate the trades among our Gulf and others. You know that we can import goods, and we can also re-export these to another countries. We have to educate our people in the science and technology to be able to create what we are thinking of, not depending on others. And if we need to depend, we not that much depend on them. We have our people who are qualified, and now we are able at this moment to send our people to get more education and specialties on different fields, and they have to come and participate in building their own country. I mean, not only one country, all the GCC, we have to respect, regard it as a unity, one country. What in Saudi Arabia is in Kuwait, and what in Oman and the United Arab Emirates all together. And that will help us to go together up and find a new way, civilized and a new way of life.
Ladies and gentlemen, our correspondent Abdulrahman Al-Muhanna, who is covering the 45th GCC Summit here in Kuwait. Abdulrahman has been closely following the developments and will provide us with a deeper insight into the discussions, key moment, and the significance of this summit for the Gulf. Good evening, sir, and thank you so much for working so hard for us and everybody else. Abdulrahman, can you hear me?
Well, good evening to you, Wasmi. Yes, I can.
Yes, sir. Dr. Adel Al-Manna is giving his regard to you, and he's asking you this. Could you tell us the latest update from your position?
Of course. First of all, good evening to you, Wasmi, and to your exclusive guest, Dr. Aid Al-Manna, and to the day viewers of KTV2. And I'm currently coming to you live from the Media Center organized by the Ministry of Information. And of course, there's been efforts executed by the National Guard and Ministry of Interior, as well as other ministries. As of now, we know that the summit has been concluded, and the final press also has taken place, led by the GCC Secretariat, Jassim Libdawi, and also led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abdullah Ali Haya, and countries, all the 6 GCC countries, their leaders and representatives have come together and discuss have discussed pressing issues and challenges taking place in the Middle East, in the region, and even worldwide. Key outcomes have been taking place on matters such as on the Gaza, from Gaza to Lebanon, from Lebanon to Syria, from Syria to Yemen, and also to Sudan and other issues in the region. When we speak of the political files, it's high on the agenda. The GCC summit has touched upon these important political files and also reinforced the united stance and in terms of giving international financial backings, and also reinforcing their stance in terms of giving any sort of help, whether be it throughout the international institutions, the United Nations, in terms of pushing for more resolutions or stopping fire, whether be it in Sudan or even Palestine, or even in any other countries. And we know that we have the facts. Statistics do speak that in Gaza, we have Kuwait and other countries have already provided medical aids and spent millions and millions, and our doctors have already traveled to Gaza and have contributed to the treatment of many of the wounded and unfortunately dead people in Palestine. And also, as we speak of that, also displaced families have been provided shelter, and that's not only exclusive to Kuwait, but also credit is given to other GCC countries such as the UAE and Saudi Arabia, as they spent millions and millions of dollars to Yemeni civilians as due to the war in Yemen. And the Gulf has acted as a mediator in terms of encouraging peace talks in Sudan for the warring parties to stop the war. So we've been, politically speaking, the GCC is a rising power politically. This is non-negotiable, and this is non-negotiable, and they've been playing an active role regionally and also globally, being integrated. That's in terms of the political side. And now moving more of culturally, there's been the GCC pavilion at Abdullah Sheikh Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, showcasing a cultural landmark for the whole GCC accomplishment and aligning with the GCC summit. It's been open since November this month and will go until December the 13th, and it's open to the public of Kuwaitis and of course across the members of the and citizens of the GCC citizens. And now moving to one other important file on the agenda, the economic integration and the economic discussion generally. But the economic integration is a concept of high importance that have been discussed on the agenda. It's all about focusing on strengthening cooperation between GCC member states, and also not even internally within the GCC, but also GCC Secretariat Jassim Ledewi have already touched upon finishing the free trade agreement with China. So even moving even globally with the economy is of significant even globally with global partners like China as a big rising or have already is a big global major power. So that is one thing. So when we speak of the major project that we have in Kuwait or in the Gulf region, we have the Custom Unions Law, which has been founded in 2003, and the main aim is to remove intra-GCC tariffs, and that would make some ease to the business entrepreneurs and other businesses to have free movement of goods and services, and then have more tariffs on goods exported from outside the GCC, which would boost the GDP.
That's wonderful, Abdulrahman. The more tariffs. When exactly we are going to tariff you? Thank you so much. You gave us a very briefing, and this is a wonderful information that you provide us. Stay safe, and we are looking forward to talk to you once again.
You did not let me finish with the latest report. That's
I would love to, but Dr. Aid Al-Manna is right here and it's freezing cold in the studio.
Yeah, that's okay.
We need to warm him up. I cannot let him sleep like that. We have to work up with the whole thing. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdulrahman. Sir, what do you think?
Well, a good information.
Good information
given by
like
our colleague Abdulrahman.
You like to make your own comments?
Well, actually, he indicated that the economic integration, which we have been talking about earlier, it is very important for us in the Gulf to have this kind of economic integration, not actually economic competition.
Nope.
We need to...
We have to complement each other.
Complement each other.
And cooperate
not
together.
Compete with each other.
Nope.
Okay, and this is very important. That means some country produce some goods, some facilities, services, and other also produce other thing different, and we exchange these with each other. And this is very important. Also, our security very important. We have to consolidate our cooperation in this respect, whether it is internal or external, for our protection and keeping together. As also the declaration made it clear that the declaration condemned the and criticized the interference in the internal affairs of the GCC countries, pointing to actions that undermine national security and stability. And that means we have to be careful about our security, because with no security, with no force guarding this security and development, there will be no stability, there will be no also growth, economic growth, or development for the whole nation. Abdurrahman indicated that some countries helping Yemen. Actually, Kuwait is one of the first to help Yemen, not only recently. Since at least 1962, Kuwait was providing Yemen with all it can do at that time, with all the needs. There is a university in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, Kuwait University. There are hospitals there, and assistance even in the roads and the street for Yemen. Also, our brothers, the Saudis and other Gulf Cooperation Council members, they all helping Yemen. Unfortunately, some of the Yemenis, like the Houthis, planting mines for their own people, and we are coming to take them off the roads, and that's for the King Salman Center in Saudi Arabia, who are playing the most important role in this respect. And therefore, we are helping all the brothers without being saying that we help you, but this is we feel
our duty.
It is a duty.
That's correct.
And our brotherhood made that push us to do what we
Not
are
only
doing.
that, this is the guidance of Islam. We
That's
have to
right.
follow it.
Islam and our Arab dignity and brotherhood that time.
Sir, we are almost out of time, but I have one final question for you. Food security for the GCC countries. You know that we are not agricultural cities or countries. We always import our food from outside our states.
Yeah.
What exactly we need to do to cut down on importing food and accessories from there?
Well, we have to depend on ourselves. Ahmed, we've been talking about this kind of economic integration, and we have to find sources. Now we find, for instance, in Kuwait, in Al-Wafra and Al-Abdali, we are growing vegetables. Why we not make it more in other countries? Other countries like Saudi Arabia, they have a lot of things that they can provide us with it. We need these kind. Also now, because the relation with India, from India to Palestine, this way we can import rice and other things, and we can exchange it. We have to think how we can get use of our land, our sea, our people, and that's all will help us to exchange interest with others. The whole world exchanging interest exchanging goods, and we have to make that available for our people, and we can do it, whether within own other motherland or from other countries. But we have to do all the best to find source of income, not depending on one source of income.
As I said it before, you're a national treasure.
Allah have
Thank you so much. We appreciate the valuable time and all the information you provided us with it. And thank you so much for your patience. Looking forward to meet you once again.
I hope so.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having this sir and this man here, and we are truly appreciating the contribution that he gave us and the significance of this Landman Summit. Thank you for everybody who is still with us, and thank you once again, Dr. Aida Al-Manna. Now let me conclude the whole thing as we come to the end of our special coverage of the 45th GCC Summit. We've had the privilege of hearing from distinguished guests, experts offering us valuable insights into the summit's key discussions and its implications for the Gulf region and beyond. A big thank you to all of our guests and to you, our viewers, for joining us today and every time. We hope this coverage gave you and provided you all the deeper understanding of the ongoing developments. Until the next time, stay with KTV2 because we have a lot more to come. I'm Ahmed Al-Wasmi. I hope to see you in the near future, probably next week. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye.